Hello everybody, welcome back, hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to be doing, as the title suggests, a world tour, which is something we haven't done in a long time. I tend to, at the end or start of a video, get sidetracked and sort of look at things I've been making recently. I tend to try and not do that anymore because it distracts from the tutorials, so world tours are separate now, and that's how it's going to stay. So yeah, this is the server that I have. Before you ask, no, it's not publicly available yet. This is purely a work in progress, and the zone you're looking at now is kind of my personal workstation for everything Star Wars. I do have a Halo one as well, but I haven't got around to porting the things from my single player to the server yet. But there is a lot of interesting Halo stuff, and I will show that later on. But we're going to start with Star Wars, as that's the sort of main thing at the minute for me. And obviously Halo is still massive to me. It's just there's not really been much Halo stuff recently in terms of games. Obviously Infinite's around the corner, but none of the things from Infinite have like official measurements. You know, the Pelican, we don't know if it's like the Reach model or if it's a new model, which I guess we're assuming it is. So yeah, none of that can really be done yet. And Halo Wars 2 is ages ago, and again, most of the things from that don't have measurements, so I can't really do them because I assume as soon as I do them, they're going to instantly release the official measurements, and then I have to go and redo everything, which I just don't want to have to do that. So yeah, that's where we stand with Halo. And obviously Halo 5 was ages ago, and we did like pretty much all the Halo 5 vehicles, but that was like 3 or 4 years ago now. So yeah, a fair while ago. A fair while ago indeed. But yes, let's look at the Star Wars stuff. So what you're seeing here, not necessarily on the screen right now, but basically this entire area is pretty much everything that I've built in Star Wars up till now. I don't obviously include previous versions of things. These are all just the newest up-to-date versions of everything in which I've built. So on the left-hand side, we've got 1-to-1 scale things, which is kind of a new series for me, sort of. And then on the right-hand side, you can probably guess 2-to-1. And then there's just miscellaneous things like laid about everywhere. But we'll explain what everything is so you don't get too confused. So let's start down here. This is the Republic 1-to-1 scale stuff. This is the 1-to-1 scale Arc 170. Looks really good for the scale, I think, and it's going to be one of the next tutorials for sure. The 1-to-1 scale ATTE. I'm happy with it. It is a few texture updates I needed because this was just ported from 1.12. It's already had a few block updates, such as the stone brick stairs instead of cobblestone walls. But yeah, we're waiting for me to update the rest of the blocks and get that ready. 1-to-1 scale LAAT. Not much really to say about it. These signposts at the front, these don't always correlate to the actual in-universe measurements because of things like banners. Basically, the very ends of the build, no matter if it's just a banner or if it's a skeleton skull, they will be included in the measurement. So like the Arc 170 is a bit longer than it should be because of this banner. Obviously, it doesn't count as a meter long, but it does in terms of the framework of the build. So yeah. LEAT, again, I'm still waiting for confirmation on the correct size of the LAAT because I'm not going to go into it. I've mentioned this hundreds of times, but basically the dropship version, I can't load it in. But yeah, the one over there, the bigger one, Star Wars, I can't remember if it's .com or if it's a Wikipedia, lists both of these at the same size, so the dropship and the gunship, which just doesn't make sense, and I'm still waiting for confirmation on what's correct. The 1-to-1 scale Y-Wing is not mine. This was built by my intergalactic patron, Clone543, who helps me with the server. Very, very cool dude. I don't think he wants me to pin any socials or anything like that, but yeah, he's my design feedback friend in terms of the things I make. It helps me with a lot of builds, and he knows all the world edit tricks, which I'm not very good with. So yeah. He's also very good at setting up the server because I've done probably about 1 to 5% of the setup so far. Obviously I've done most of the building, but yeah, he's done all the background things. So yeah, big shout out to him. We will be looking at potentially doing closed betas for the server at some point early next year. but with just having updated to 1.16 now, that's another thing. I'll get into that in a little bit if I remember. But yeah, some of our plugins aren't working anymore, so we've lost a couple of worlds, which we'll have to redo, and yeah, it's a nightmare. So that's all the 1-to-1 scale Republic stuff. I'm gonna, I don't know whether to go over all the 1-to-1 things or I'll go over the either side. ATRT 2-to-1, this just isn't gonna happen in 1-to-1 unless they introduce some really finicky new blocks. But yeah, very nice. We've just done a tutorial on this not long ago. Same with the Bark Speeder. This has been ready to make for a couple of months now. Just need to get around to it. It goes through a lot of updates, and it's been a long time since I've made one, so I really need to get around to doing that. So yeah. This is the, again, same case scenario. The ETA 2-to-1 scale has gone through so many updates, and I'm very happy with this model. But then I said that about all the previous ones, and then they turned out to be highly inaccurate. This one I think is the closest to what would be considered accurate so far, which, yeah, it's nice. Again, having updated to 1.16, I could probably replace these nether bricks with black stone now. That will make the cockpit look a bit more smooth. The Swamp Speeder, are you guys interested in seeing a tutorial for this, or do you just want it in the schematic archive? Because I don't think many people know it. So yeah, you might know it's that really overpriced Lego set from like 10 years ago, something like that. V-Wing, we did a tutorial on this, but it was like a previous model, but I'd never actually redid the model. This is that model but modified, basically. So yeah, it's gone through some mods. That's about it. The I can't remember the name of it. It's a fighter tank, basically, TX-130, I think. Again, 2 models of this has been made so far. This is the most recent one, and it's much smaller, and yeah, very nice. It does seem too small in a way, but then you gotta think, like, compare it to me. You know, half the scale of it. Yeah, I could see it happening. So yeah, Arc 170 in 2-to-1 scale. The width is correct this time. The body's been made slightly thinner. It's now 5 blocks wide, which is interesting. And it means that the wings can be wider without skewing up all the measurements, and just the curves and the slopes on this are really, really good. And again, things like this stone slab and this one here can be replaced with black stone. So yeah, it does need a cockpit as well, but I'll get around to that at some point. But yeah, Arc 170. The LAAT, this is a brand new build. Well, not brand new, I made it a while ago, but in terms of compared to the last one, it's so much better. And the old one was disproportionate in a lot of areas. Are these cannons or are these engines? I don't know. They have these on the back, so I assume they're engines, but on the front, I don't know, I think they fire something. I honestly don't know. But yeah, they were massive. They were like basically this big. And you can see, like, in terms of that compared to the body, it just ain't right. It ain't right. And yeah, the wings are a lot thinner. They were like 1.5 blocks wide, or tall, sorry, on the previous model. That just didn't work either. The Y-Wing, the Republic Y-Wing has had about 7 or 8 models, and this is the one I finally settled on. And it took a long time to make this, so please, if you want a tutorial, please request it. But I don't know. I'm scared of this thing. It just doesn't want to look good. I can't help but feel like it's wrong in some way. I don't know. And I had a lot of drama with the Y-Wing. I'll probably get into that some other time when we maybe do the tutorial on it. But there's, yeah, a massive backstory behind it. And then, yeah, the dropship. Again, in canon, they say that this is... They say that is 28 meters, and this is also 28 meters, which... Yeah, that's not right. So, yeah. But, yeah, the dropship has been changed a fair bit since last time. I don't know if you've seen it before, but yeah. Ignore all this. These aren't mine, by the way, before you think that I'm doing a series on this. This, again, was a project by Clone543. They look great. He's got, like, every lightsaber that I could name. But I was gonna say I'm not gonna reveal all of them, but I pretty much have there. Sorry, Clone. Sorry. All these on the right without a base plate kind of thing. these are all due for remakes. So obviously the Delta 7 is the old model with the hyperspace ring. I don't know what you call it. The Z90, is it Z95? Z95 head? Yeah, I think so. Z95 heads on there. Just due. I think I'm going to remake this. I was going to just update the colours, but I might just remake. ATTE already started the remake on that, but ATTE is a very horrendous thing to build. This one took like months to do, and so this one's going to take even longer. Main features of the new one though will be just smaller feet in general, as you can see, and obviously not all them cobblestone walls. Let's move on to the Separatists now. We'll start with the 1-to-1 scale things. This is the 1-to-1. Ignore the Darth Maul's scimitar. That's work in progress. MTT, open and close. Not really much to say about it. It was a brand new build. I've not attempted this before. Tricky parts. The back is easy, but the front, this curved bit, is horrible. And when we get to the 2-to-1, you'll just see how many slopes there is on it. It's not good. So yeah, this one actually has like mock-up droids in there. I've seen people do this better, but in terms of a tutorial level, this is fine for me. Absolutely fine. There would be a Separatist one, but I don't know, it's just effort to make the colour scheme on that. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll get around to it at some point though. The Tri droid? I don't know, it's Octopara or something. I don't really know what it's called, but yeah, it exists. This is the larger one. There is a smaller one that's probably about 7 blocks tall, I think. This is... I'm going to try and explain this in the best way. So it's the Phantom 2 from Star Wars Rebels, but before it was modified. So it's not the same exact way it looked in the Clone Wars, but it is sort of meant to be representing that one. There will be a separate model, but I think only one of them will get a tutorial. AAT, sorry. Again, just the one colour scheme on this one for now. I will get around to a separate one at some point. But yeah, it's just a nice little build. Nothing really to say about it. Very compact, I think. The 1-to-1 scale is going to be good for kind of simulating my old builds where, you know, you could build like tanks and stuff without it taking 40 odd minutes like it does in the 2-to-1 scale. So yeah, it will be closer to how things used to be for my channel. This, I'm semi happy with it. I don't really know how I can do it any better than this, but yeah, it looks good from the side. Don't get me wrong, that's fine. And the front, yeah, it's too thick. So yeah, with 2 C's. Again, this is, I think I've made one of these before. This is just an update. Or I think I remade it actually. Who cares? I don't really care about this. But if you want a tutorial, sure, it might happen. Again, some of this could be Blackstone, so that would be good if I could do that. Update on the snail droid, the Persuader class droid, I think it's called. Much thinner overall, and I really, really do like this one. Looks great. AAT, blue, and that colour tan. These two, again, just full-on remake, and we've even got some custom banner designs here, which is nice. I don't know if these will be on the tutorial model, but we'll see. It may just end up being black banners like it is here. Again, here this is the Rebels pre-modified Phantom 2. Obviously, if you compare it to the actual Sheathapede shuttle, this is more what it looks like. But again, that one, despite being on a pad, is due for a remake. Clone put that there. I'm not sure why it is due a remake. So yeah. So the 2-to-1 MTT is finally finished, and yes, it's really, really horrible. I doubt this will get a tutorial, if I'm honest with you, because there's just too many slabs and stairs. It's too complicated. This will take hours and hours, probably about 3 or 4 hours in total. Just because of the sheer amount of work that goes into it. So yeah, this is the new what's it called, OG9 Spider Droid. It's weird. It's kind of more similar to the original one from the non-scale Star Wars series that I did, as compared to the previous one I did, the other 2-to-1 scale one. So yeah, I guess I'm going back to the basics here, but this is way more accurate. So Sure. And again, these are all due remakes, but haven't been made yet. The Stap, the Hailfire droid, the Tri-Fighter, the Vulture droids, the Hyena droid, the Magna Guard fighter. I don't know what you actually call it. The droid gunship, and again, Darth Maul Scimitar. I don't really know if this needs a remake, but with all the new slabs and stairs, it might as well. Might as well have one. Let's move on to the Rebels. So this is the GR75, I think, Corvette. Or is it GR90? Or is it CR? Nah. It's GR something, Corvette. Is it? I don't know. GR75? I've forgotten the name. I genuinely have forgotten the name. I'm losing my mind from all these names here. But yeah, this is the GR whatever. The one that escapes from Hoth, basically. So yeah, it's really hard, this build. Just getting that kind of whole curve shape was a nightmare to do. Really did not enjoy that. And fun fact, it can't actually fit a proper cockpit because the scale model they used in the original trilogy actually didn't account for the fact that someone has to sit up here, and so it's absolutely tiny. In I think it's Rebels, you see the cockpit of one of these, and it's like probably about 5 meters wide. So yeah, that really doesn't work out. The Millennium Falcon in 1:1 scale. You may have seen this before, however, it has been updated with all the new slabs and stairs. So yeah, pretty nice. No, I want to say no interior. Yeah, there's no interior on it. It just won't fit. This is the post-modified Ghost. No, not Ghost. Phantom 2. So yeah, very nice colour scheme. But we'll get to the 2:1, and that's one of my favourite builds. So I'll show you that in a minute. Y-wing. Again, I'm not sure if the Y-wing is correct in terms of its cannon measurements. It says it's about 16.24 meters. But I don't know. It feels too small compared to the X-wing, at least anyway. Speaking of the X-wing, we've just done a tutorial on that. I'm hoping it goes live before this one, but we will see. But yeah, that is recorded and ready to go. If not, so whatever. Either way. Phantom 1. Not really a fan of this, to be honest with you. Me and Clone543 both made our attempts at this model, and to be fair, his was a bit better, but it wasn't properly to scale, so you know, you got that trade-off there. It's okay for what it is. It's just a very tiny ship, really. And then the A-wing 1:1 is just, yeah, it's just not worth it. Speaking of, actually, what I'm going to do is put a Blackstone slab in there instead. There we go, that's a better cockpit. If you can say it's even a cockpit, that's, yeah, whatever. 2:1. A-wing, we've done a version of this. This is updated with a load of new blocks, so we may get a remake at some point. The Phantom 1 in 2:1 scale, the open and closed versions of that look a lot better than the 1:1 scale one. But yeah, it's a nice build. It's got an interior again made by Clone543. Thank you to him for that. So yeah, he does a lot of the interiors for my ships. Any like just single cockpits like this I'll do, but then if they've got, you know, seats and stuff inside, like the Phantom does, and control panels and things like that, he'll normally do that for me. So yeah, big credit to him. X-Wing, open and closed. We'll get around to this at some point, but it's a brand new model and a lot better than the previous one. Y-Wing 2:1. Just looks nice. I still wish we'd done the... I did one ages ago, and it was awesome, but it was based on the 23 meter measurement, which is actually for the Clone Wars Y-Wing. So it's way too big, basically, but it was awesome. Phantom 2 in 2:1 scale, one of my favourite builds. I mean, just look at it, and it's got custom banner designs. Yeah, a lot of effort went into this one. Definitely happy with it. B-Wing 2:1 looks pretty sick, but I'm not a big fan of the B-Wing in general, so okay. Falcon is again on a landing, well, not a landing pad, but just a base plate here. Has been given a small update with just some slabs replaced, but I think it's mainly the same. I don't know if I'm going to redo this at any point. I know I'm due to make a solo Falcon based on this design. However, I may just leave it for a while. and then remake both at the same time and get them both out there so that they're both based on the same framework. And then the Ghost, I'm not going to talk about this because give me flashbacks to that tutorial. Although I can say the same for that one. 6 hours, whatever it was. Luminek. But yeah, Ghost there. The only two Rebel ships that are due remakes are the Star Wars Rebels A-Wing and the U-Wing. Again, I'm not a big fan of the U-Wing. That's why it's one of the last ones to get remade. Imperials. Now, we got a nice fresh lineup for the Imperials. Most of it's new. As with most of that, to be honest. The ATDP, you'll see that over there. However, I'm working on updating it over here. Did try and remake it here, but then I got a bit annoyed and didn't want to do it anymore. Over there in the distance, that's a Mandalorian version of the Guzanti in progress. So that's interesting. There's the Endor bunker, which I grabbed from my previous single-player map. Here's the Rebels and kind of animated, basically, version of the Guzanti. Here's the 1-to-1 scale Lambda, not fully finished yet, but that's okay. We'll get around to that at some point. The 1-to-1 scale TIE Striker. Very, very nice indeed. Did I make this other clip? I genuinely don't remember who made this. It was either me or Clone543. I feel like it was me, but if it was him, I'm sorry. I genuinely do not remember. So yeah. This is the TIE Interceptor. I think I made this one. I don't remember for many of these. He made this one. I know he made this one. This is the TIE V1. So the one from Rebels. I know I made this one because I'm not like happy with it. So yeah, I made this, and this obviously was in the tutorial, and then I made this as well. And we got a custom banner. This is the 1-to-1 scale ATST. 2-to-1 scale ATST has been given another massive update, but it is due another update now because of 1.16, so I'm going to update some of the blocks and get that released. ATDP, I already said, working on getting that looking a little bit better before I release it. This is the ITT from the Mandalorian. It was originally I want to say Hasbro or Kenner toy that became reality, basically. It's kind of based on a mix between the two. So, yeah. This is the 2-to-1 scale TIE fighter, like the 15th version of this we've made. But this time, massive update because we can use walls all over the wings. And with 1.16, the walls now join up, so it looks absolutely fantastic. Just these thin wings absolutely sells it for me. The Lambda, we did a tutorial on this, and I have no intention of changing it, so that's just there it is. AT-80 has been completely remade and looks fantastic. And then these are all the Imperial things that are due to be remade. This is the AT-80 from, let's see, Fallen Order, Star Wars Rebels, and whatever else. The kind of pre-Civil War one. This is the AT-ACT. Again, not really big fan of the AT-ACT. I don't know what you call it, but it's basically kind of the tread tank from Rogue One. So yeah, that's that. Darth Vader's TIE hasn't been remade. It does need just update to Blackstone, but I'm probably going to remake the rest of it anyway. And then, yeah, Interceptor, Bomber, Defender, and Striker all haven't been remade in 2-to-1 yet. So, yeah, that's a shame, but we'll get around to it at some point. I'm just working on other big projects at the minute, which we'll get to shortly. Saving the best till last, really. The Sentinel, I'm definitely going to get around to doing this. It's a shame they really changed the design of this in canon. This is based on the Legends model. In canon, it looks a lot more like the Lambda. The head is like super raised up though. So yeah. I never actually did a landed model for that either, and neither of these got tutorialed, so yeah. I have a habit of making things and then they never get tutorialed and then they just become irrelevant and outdated and then they just get lost to time, which is a shame. Resistance, no 1-to-1 things, so yeah. But we've got a 2-to-1 RZ2 A-Wing, which is very nice. Uses a lot of slopes here, specialized slopes using snow, trapdoors, carpets, things like that. Looks great. The 2:1 scale T-78 X-Wing looks fantastic. So yeah, there's that, and then the T-85 X-Wing, I don't like it. Not my model, but just the design of the ship is awful. I don't like it at all. Look at the cannons. Look at the cannons. That's ridiculous. The only Resistance thing that I made before that hasn't been remade for 1.16 slash 1.15 is the Ski Speeder. And then First Order, again, no one-to-one things. You got the... It says LVAT, however, I could have sworn it was LUAV before. Or is that something else? Or is it LIUV? I don't know, something like that. Kylo Ren's shuttle is... This is technically the complete design, however, I'm going to change a lot of these for Blackstone. Like most of the blocks. And again, the open model, they do look great, but they need Blackstone desperately. I'll get around to it at some point. And again, things haven't been remade. A lot of First Order stuff has not been remade yet. So the TIE fighter, just look how different it is with the one block wide wings instead of the I'm lost. Instead of the walls. Like, you can really see the difference. It's massive. Okay, and from there we also have Kylo Ren's TIE silencer, which again is going to massively benefit from the Blackstone. That's going to look sick when we remake that. First Order transport, it was already a good model, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with it per se. Obviously, the cobblestone walls could be done with switching out, but yeah, I mean, proportion-wise, this is fantastic. It just needs updating with new materials, that's all. So we'll get around to that at some point. It will be a new model, though. I do plan on having walls kind of here, which will smooth out just the transition and the taper inwards. First Order ATST is just going to be basically, where is it? Is that it all the way over there? Yeah, so that one, but modified again, as we did with this one and the previous version of the ATST. ATM6, I want to say it's going to get remade. I just have a feeling it won't. We have a lot more reference images of the underside and stuff now. This was basically Creative Liberty before, and I know for a fact it doesn't look like this underneath. So yeah. Anyway, that's, yeah, maybe we'll see. Again, I don't really like the ATM6, if I'm honest with you. First Order AT, never even got finished. This was made in about 2017 or 18, but again, never got actually finished. And again, I've tried, or started trying to sort of modify the Imperial model into the new one, so that's potentially going to happen. We'll see. But again, I even forgot that I was making this, so you can see how into that project I am. And that's all the First Order stuff. Let's move to the Miscellaneous factions. We have the 1:1 scale Slave 1, looks awesome. A lot better than the previous model for sure. And again, we'll get a Jango Fett colour scheme along with that too. The 1:1 scale Skiff, just kind of cute. Uses the, is it Lectern? Yeah, Lectern as a control panel. Yeah, it's just pretty neat, pretty cool, small build. Take probably about 2 minutes to build. The Sail Barge, this is one that I never thought I would build, but here we go. And it's also a lot smaller than you would expect. This is genuinely 1:1 scale. Let me stand right next to it so you can see. That is 1:1 scale. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It really doesn't make sense. I swear it was bigger in the movie, but this is what Wikipedia says the measurements are, so whatever. Razor Crest, I would make a 2:1 model because everyone's asking for it. However, the measurements I use for the 1:1 scale one are purely speculation and guesswork. So I don't want to commit to making the 2:1 model until we have definitive measurements. I'm hoping we do at some point because you guys are really begging for it. So yeah, but the 1:1 scale model looks really good. Again, Clone 543 made this neat little interior, but you know, you can't really fit much in it until we do the 2:1. The N1 fighter in 1:1 scale. Again, this I'll replace this with black, so then off camera, but whatever. Just pretty cute. Looks kind of chibi in a way. I don't know why this is one up front, but this is the land speeder. Pretty neat upgrade over the previous model. Yeah, it's nice. The 2:1 scale cloud car. I've probably shown this before, but yeah, it's something something interesting. Don't know if it's going to get a tutorial, but whatever. The 2:1 scale N1 fighter is missing a lot of carpets for some reason. But yeah, again, really nice build. Very smooth, and the proportions are a lot better on this one than on the previous model. So yeah, 2:1 scale skiff speeder. Not so cute as that one, but yeah, it's still nice. A lot of curves on it. Like you can see the kind of bars on the back curve up a bit. And again, uses the lectern, but in a bigger style. So that's nice. This, I don't like it. I just don't like the design. I made it fine, but the design is horrible. That's the Cheetahpeed shuttle from Resistance. I haven't watched the show. I don't know who it belongs to. I don't know why they still exist by this point. I just saw an image and I remade it. That's about as far as it goes. And it is, again, based on the Phantom model, as is the one in the show. So, yeah. Slave 1, 2:1 scale. Absolutely fantastic. Compared to the previous model, this... If you look at the Boba one in particular, I'm not going to get an image on screen because I'm too lazy, but if you ever did the previous tutorial, the Slave one, from the front it looked okay-ish, but from the side, like, the body was so squished downwards, it was ridiculous. It was about up to here, I think, was the height of the previous one. So yeah, it was stupid. It was really dumb. I don't know how I ever got away with it. But again, we got the Boba landed in flight, and then Django landed in flight, which is just fantastic. Nice little collection. And then the big boy here is the Sandcrawler in 2:1 scale. Again, the Sandcrawler is something that I thought would be way bigger than this, because obviously you got to think this is already double scale, so just half the length of this would be half the length and the height would be the 1:1 scale Sandcrawler, which I don't have one yet, but whatever. And then the only thing that hasn't been remade is the Flash Speeder from episode 1. So, yeah. But there's a lot more things to come for the Misk faction, and every faction really. But that's all the main stuff. Everything that's in these kind of grey areas with the base plate things are under 100 blocks long. I made sure that was a rule. Anything under 100 blocks goes in this section, and then anything bigger, any ships or vehicles will go in their own category. I don't have a specific area for them yet, but I'm going to cover a few more Misk things before we move on to the big boys. That's just ignore. I don't know why this is in the Star Wars world. I put it here for some reason. It's kind of like an AFK jail. So if either me or Clone is AFK, we teleport each other to the jail. And it's got a little parkour course inside it, because instead of actually doing work, I would rather build a parkour course. That's nice. I've got two massive projects over there I'm going to show you. Ignore the Arquitins because there's one over here. Let's start with the Consular class frigate. So this is the one from the Clone Wars, not episode 1. However, it can be easily modified. However, they are oddly different sizes, despite the fact that they're just modified versions of the same ship. The Consular Cruiser is 150 meters. This one is 138.5. So it somehow gains 23 meters. I think I did the math right on that. Somehow gains 23 meters despite just being the exact same shape and size. Yeah, Star Wars is pretty messed up. Not totally finished this yet, obviously. Gaps here and underside as well. But it's close enough, and it's going to look sick. Probably won't be a tutorial for this, but it will be either a reward or a subscriber milestone, something like that. Tantive 4, you'll have seen this before many times. I did the showcase on it, I think I did. Did I? I think I did. Pretty much the same. Very few build differences on this. Just a few block changes, like the netherite block there. All the cobblestone walls have been replaced with diorite walls. And then all the red blocks have been switched out as well, just to make them a bit more accurate, in my opinion. But yeah, it's still pretty much the same ship, and I don't see any need to sort of re-release this as a... I don't remember how I released it now. I think it was a Patreon reward or something. The Arquitins, you may not have seen this yet, because most of the interaction in terms of the building process was made on my community page and also on my Discord, which I recommend you join. I'll put a link in the description if I remember. Again, oh no wait, it's always in the description, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We've got the Imperial model, and I'm also working on the Republic model of the same ship. so that's interesting. The Arquitans was one of my, I was going to say one of my biggest projects, but it wasn't really. But in terms of just the level of detail and the scale, yeah, it's pretty big. But it's still only, how big is it? 325, I think, 325 meters long. So my biggest build up to now was the Paris class frigate from Halo, which was 535 meters long. This is 325, so you know, about 2/3 of the way there. But then the projects I show you next are going to be the ones that will, yeah, definitely top that record. So this is going to be the 1:1. Oh my god, 1:1 scale acclimator assault ship, basically from Star Wars Episode 2. And once it actually loads in, I will show you a full overview of this because it is epic. This has taken me a couple of weeks so far, I think, and a couple of days of just pure work. But yeah, man, it's going to be massive. I mean, so far the back is pretty much done. That's like almost complete. The bridge is pretty much done. Just needs an interior. Clone, please do that for me because you're the best at that. Some of the shapes on this though are just goddamn awful. I've only just started putting colour on it as well. I think this kind of works from a distance for the colours. There's not really much in terms of red that actually works for what I want it to be. But yeah, I kind of put these grey wool in there as like paints that's stripped off. So that's pretty cool. This top side is due detailing, so don't think it's going to look that plain when it's finished because it won't. Like slopes like this, they're horrible. They'd really hurt to make. But that bit was really fun to make. I mean, just look at the overall product of what you get. Like, that bridge is fantastic. And yeah, this goes. I'm going to load the entire thing. You can see the scale. This is 752 blocks, I think. So it tops the Paris class frigate by pretty much 220 blocks ish. So yeah, it's pretty massive. Yeah, it's going to be nice when it's done. All that front bit needs doing, and all the underside as well. But yeah, it's God, man, it's huge. But then that's not even the biggest one that I've actually started planning out. I've got 2 more projects, which they're likely to never be finished. I will tell you that now, so don't get your hopes up. Oh, actually, before I show you them, I do want to show you some Fleet Wars things that I've been making. I still call it Fleet Wars, despite the fact I've not done one in years. But here are a couple of things that are over 100 blocks. Ignore this Arquitans, doesn't matter. 2:1 scale Gazanti. I've shown this before. It's carrying some TIE fighters. It's pretty cool, but it's over 100 blocks, I think, so it doesn't fit in my thing down there. 1:10 scale ISD. I did a showcase on this, I think. So yeah, don't need to cover that anymore. This is Clone's attempt at a 1:10 scale Gazanti. Well done, Clone. Looks very nice. 1:10 scale Venator. Not completely finished yet, as you can see. All the inside is very plain, but once that's done, it's gonna look nice. So yeah, that's that. And then ignore this. I tried to move the acclimator and I crashed the server like 15 times, so I've just given up and I've left it. So ignore that. This is the framework for a 1:1 scale Venator. Yeah, you heard that right. 1:1 scale Venator. You can see me load it in now. The fact that it won't even all fit on screen is, just a testament to how big it would be. But really, these massive 1:1 scale things are just a proof of concept. That isn't mine, by the way. Ignore that. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of see if it would fit and what it would look like. The acclimator was meant to be a proof of concept, but then I started filling bits in, and then before I knew it, I was kind of building the full ship, so I kind of got too far with it to just stop. But yeah, the Venator is huge. It is possible in Minecraft as it currently is. However, I don't know, it would just be too time consuming. It would drive me mad. My voice is going because I've talked so much, by the way. Yeah, that's lovely. But yeah, we'll see if this ever progresses. I do want to build the bridges because the bridges would be nice, like with the acclimator. So yeah, but it's not even the biggest one. On the left-hand side of this is absolutely 100% just a proof of concept and proof of size. This is, you can't even find the start of the build in the width. Here it is, the 1-to-1 scale Imperial Star Destroyer. Just the outline of this won't load on the screen. I have actually done part of the bridge of this, so there is some 3D elements already made, but just the width and length of this is incredible. So like I said, this will most likely never lead anywhere, and it was purely just me messing about to see if I actually could. It won't fit in Minecraft's height limit anyway. The ISD is about 494 blocks tall from what I've worked out, and Minecraft's height limit is 256. Now, if they happen to double that height limit in the next Minecraft update, which there are theories they might, then the 1-to-1 scale ISD would be possible. However, again, I don't know if I even want to try it. I'll show you the 3D bits I made just to show you how big the actual bridge tower of the ISD would be. So yeah, this is the kind of bridge tower section of the ISD. You can see how long the neck is of that, and I'll try and get to an angle where you can actually recognize some of the shapes. So yeah, you can kind of see where it's going there. You got the big I don't know what they're called, shield generator domes on top. Obviously they're just red circles at the minute. Spheres, not circles, spheres. Yes. And yeah, so far this is the biggest thing that I've got. 1,600 blocks long. But obviously it's nowhere near complete, and it's not ever going to be in my mind. So yeah, this one potentially, if I get some help, then maybe. But I think the acclimator is as big as I'm willing to build for now. But you know, things like the Nebulon B, 300 and something meters, I think that's possible for sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in the Star Wars world for the minute. I know there was a lot, but now let's move on to Halo. Now I'm going to be in the single player map for this, and this is actually going to be in 1.17 in snapshots because I'm using all the new copper blocks as my UNSC colours. So let's get on to that. Alright, so moving on to Halo. There isn't too much here so far. This is all single player, by the way. So no fast flying or anything for me right now, which is annoying. Halo 1-to-1, we have the frigates, so the Charon class and the Paris class one. My previous longest build right there. Doesn't seem so big anymore. We've got the Phantoms here. These are the green ones. Pretty nice. Got the Shadow. Not really anything special, to be honest with you. Not been updated yet. A lot of these haven't, I'll be honest with you. Still working out the best colour scheme for them. The Banshee is a good example of kind of a test colour scheme. So obviously with the what is this? Crimson Stairs. They kind of work for a very, very purple, almost Halo 2 looking kind of colour scheme. Don't know if it'll work for everything, but the Banshee does benefit a lot from it, so that's nice. And this has been improved a lot since the last time I showed it off. I think that was a long time ago anyway. Chopper needs updating, Revenant needs updating, Elephant needs updating as well. And then the Wraiths and the Ghost. Again, the Ghost has been kind of sort of proof of concept, edited with things like these trapdoors on the sides and the crimson stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty nice for a 1-to-1 scale one, but nowhere near as good as the 2-to-1 scale ones. The Wraith, again, the colour scheme I'm not too sure on, but there isn't really anything that closely matches it, so it's a shame. I wish we had more purple slabs and stairs. That's what it looked like before the update to the colour, so I don't know, whichever you prefer. It's easier with the anti-air one because a lot of it's brown and therefore, well, browny orange. And therefore you can use wood. That's nice. The Vampire, again, just concepting using these other colours. So yeah, that's nice. The Mongoose, just ignore that, to be honest. Warthog, again, I'd say just ignore that until I update it. The Scorpion has been given an update, and again, this is where it kind of comes back to. Just realised I haven't updated these stairs here. The colour scheme is, yeah, it's hard to explain. So obviously in the old days of my tutorials, builds were about this size, so it could be done within about 5-10 minutes. Obviously, as I moved forward to 2:1 scale stuff, they became bigger and bigger and harder to do, and therefore like the Scorpion tank became like 40 minutes long compared to, I think it was 5 for the original one. So yeah, going back to 1:1 scale though makes it a lot closer to the previous size it used to be, and so this one, I'd say, yeah, 5-10 minutes. So yeah, it'll be good for all you old fans who've stuck around this long. Grizzly needs updating, ignore that. Falcon, I use chains for the rotors. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that or if I'm going to change it back to end-rods, but here's something interesting. So the colour scheme of this one and the Hornet is kind of interesting. It's got these, what is it? Semi-weathered copper stairs. So semi-weathered copper is a very interesting block because it's very UNSC green. Doesn't quite match with the green or lime terracotta, which is a shame. But yeah, it has a very washed out olive look, which is exactly what I need from a UNSC block. However, things like the Falcon in 1:1 scale can't really fit a cockpit, so for the windows I actually used these kind of like tan gold colours to, if you've ever played Reach, and you can see the AI vehicles don't have pilots, so they just kind of, I'd say, black out the windows, but they don't. They kind of gold tint them. This is kind of what that's meant to be. You can't see the pilot, but he's in there somewhere. Same with the Hornet. No room for a pilot really. Although I did put a minecart there, so that's me lying. I just kind of wanted these two to be consistent with each other, but yeah, you can fit a pilot in this one. You have to flick that up and then, yeah, but you get crushed inside, so not really much point. Yeah, that's the Hornet. Looks pretty sick. I've made about 15 of these over the course of the Halo series, so I'm not intent on making one very soon. Pelican, I like it as it is. I really want to update the colours though, but I don't want to ruin it. I don't know. The Vulture, I've been messing about with this because the Vulture is one of my favourite Halo aircraft, and the colour scheme on this one is sort of like a mix between these and also adding a lot of Blackstone in there, because I wanted to kind of make it as vibrant as the Halo Wars 2 Vulture, but then have like the general aesthetic of the Halo Wars 1 Vulture with this green. I don't know if it really works, so let me know what you think about that. So yeah. And then the other Vulture, this one we actually did a tutorial on. It's weird to think that I did one that was this big. I don't remember how long it was, probably about an hour or an hour and a half. Don't quote me on that, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah, that's like double the scale. So if there was a 2:1 scale Vulture, it would look kind of like that. I think maybe a bit bigger. And then other things, the Spirit, might leave it as it is, but I want to put a bit of that colour on it and to kind of make the... to be fair, I'd make the Halo 1 Spirit completely different. This is the Reach one. So yeah. This is the... It's a Phantom, technically. It's any Phantom, but it's got the colour scheme of the Halo Wars... not Halo Wars. Halo 2 Phantom. Just because it worked with the slabs. Obviously, if you've got like the purple blocks, the blue terracotta, it doesn't really mesh well with the crimson stairs. However, the... what is this? Purple terracotta really does. It looks great. But it does give you that Halo 2 vibe, which I don't really like classic Halo 2. I do like Anniversary though. You could say this is the Halo 2 Anniversary Phantom if you want. But yeah. And then again, the Scarab. This is the 1:1 scale one. And yeah, it's alright. I don't know what to do with the colours again. But whatever. And that's pretty much it for Halo. 1:1 scale anyway. Let's go to 2:1 scale, see if there's anything new. I think there is, but bear with me. I was working on that. It will get finished at some point. A lot of this hasn't been given a new colour scheme. The Warthog has. So I'll just give you an overview because I don't want to go around every build individually. I've shown these all off before, I think. But yeah, we'll get to the Hornet because look at that. That's amazing. That's awesome. Alright, let's go down here. So yeah, a lot of the UNSC stuff going to get this colour scheme with the semi-weathered cut copper. So the Warthog, as you can see, looks really nice with it. Definitely benefits the colour scheme more than like on those ones. My voice is really going now, by the way. I don't have COVID, I promise. What else? This is one of the few banished vehicles you will see. The only reason I did the Wraith and the Ghost is because, despite the fact they don't have measurements on Halo Wiki or Halo Alpha, wherever it's called nowadays, it is literally just a Wraith with spikes on the front, so I know what the size is going to be. And the same with the Ghost, it's pretty much the same, but with a bit of extra armor. I could probably do the Banshee as well, but I need to get around to that at some point. Yeah, my voice was dying. Again, here, just proving the concept of these colours. I think it looks a bit better on the 2:1 scale one than it does on the 1:1. But still wish there was a better purple colour. So please put that in the game at some point. This is the Banshee. Again, for the kind of green shimmer that it had, I don't know even what else to call it except a shimmery, pearlescent kind of colour on top. When you look at it from certain angles, I use the UNSC's semi-weathered cut copper. So yeah, it looks nice. Reach Banshee hasn't had anything new to it. Space Banshee again hasn't had anything new. Locust and Vampire are using a previous colour scheme that I was working with, which was these purple as well as the purple concrete. Not sure about that. Grizzly, mid-working on translating that to 1.17. But yeah, so far it's looking awesome with the new colour scheme. So yeah, we'll get to that when, I don't know, at some point, when I finish the Acclimator. The Scorpion has been mostly, I think it's actually fully translated into 1.17 now. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. Short Sword and Saber, just same as usual. The Hornet, I pointed out from over there. This is one of my favourite builds. It is pretty much the same one we did in the tutorial. Have we done? Yeah, we did the tutorial, didn't we? A few modifications here and there, but the colour scheme is what really has changed. And honestly, just step back just to here, it looks fantastic. There's the curve of that cockpit with the Blackstone as well. It just looks awesome. And this one isn't gold tinted either, so you can sit in there. But yeah, just admire that because that's so nice. I can't get enough of it. And then the Falcon, same kind of thing. I'm not as huge as a fan of the Falcon, but yeah, it's there. The Hawk, I started to translate it, but I never got around to finishing that. And yeah, that's it for the Halo 2:1 scale stuff. That's going to be, I want to say that's the Vulture and that's the Pelican. Yeah, that's the Vulture because it's longer. Yeah, Pelican, Vulture. And yeah, that's about it. That was going to be a new Combat Evolved Wraith. Got that far and then got bored. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Those are the world tours, what I've really been working on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, guys. And that was like an hour long, so yeah, hope you stuck through it. And I'm sorry I went a bit mad because of how dehydrated I am from talking this much. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next video. So goodbye.
Alright, I'd just like to give a big thanks to my current Patreon supporters of the channel. The names are being displayed right now on screen, so massive credits to them for making this video possible. Make sure to check out my Patreon page in the description if you're interested in supporting the channel, and you also receive a neat goodie bag every month along with other rewards for the higher tiers. So yeah, thank you.